Love watching the sun come up on the ruck. I hope you guys enjoy this too. So in my journey, I've really noticed that there's an inflection point in founder-led companies where there needs to be some sort of change. It happens usually around the 2 to 5 million mark. I mean, sometimes a little more, give or take. It could be possibly a little less, but I'll just describe what it looks like and then that will go from there. So there's an inflection point where there is just simply too much complexity for the founder to be the center of everything anymore. There's just too much. There's too many little things that are happening in the day-to-day. There's too many things that need to get done. There's too many decisions that need to get made. And if the founder continues to be that center, the nucleus of this business, it's just going to get pigeonholed. Then something else happens is the people around the founder are usually just really good doers and they're not really good thinkers. And so the founder kind of develops this relationship where I just do all the thinking for you and you just do all the doing. But now you got to a point where if he's the only one or she's the only one doing all that thinking, there's a bottleneck in the business because the brain is centered around one person. And so these are the things that are usually happening. Also now for the founder, usually in this stage, I'm not a big fan of this word, but everybody kind of understands it. They get to burnout. And what burnout really means to me is lack of enthusiasm. It's that, things are starting to annoy you. You're not as happy-go-lucky as you were. You see one person's Slack message and it's like, oh God, what's this guy want? Or, you're just ready to come down on people. Another way that burnout really shows up is how you just treat people when you're burnt out. And what's funny is I've seen founders do this 1,000 times. And here's the test, is do you treat your customers or your clients different than you do your employees? And if you do, you are probably burnt out. You are probably too much in founder mode. And there needs to be some sort of change in your business for it to grow. And a lot of times what people will say is the first thing we need to do is we need to go hire people, or we need to build this system, or start using AI, or whatever the case is. And my idea behind all this is, in order for this organization to change, that nucleus, that founder needs to change. And that's the first place where things need to change. And I believe that it's an identity shift from being a founder to a CEO. Because they're really different jobs. They're really different roles. They're really different people, how different people think. And if you are going to want to stay on as the CEO of your company and be the leader of your company, this identity shift needs to happen. It just needs to happen. And if you don't believe me, let me just talk to you about this. How many times have you heard about a lottery winner that's won the lottery and then a year later they're broke, or a few years later they go broke? Why did they go broke? Because they didn't have the mindset of someone that is wealthy. And a lot of you guys are running around, running and gunning, and I love you guys. I've been in this place. Oh my God, I love your energy. I love your enthusiasm. I love how you're a savage. But now being this way, in this direction, is going to make you peril. People are going to leave your company because you're a fucking dick. Smart people will leave your company. The doers, the yes men, they'll stay. And believe me when I tell you, you won't want them to stay. And these kind of people, and this will just spawn throughout your life. But it's about your identity shifting, changing who you are. And the first thing you have to do that is take responsibility for the way things are, right? There's no such thing as bad kids, only bad parents, right? And it's the same thing for businesses. There's no such thing as bad teams, only bad leaders. And so you got to just start working on you. And I believe that there's a few steps to do that. And it's called identity alchemy. First, you work on your thoughts. Then you work on your words. Then you work on your actions. And then those actions become habits. And those habits become who you are. But right now, you have bad habits. But your bad habits are from bad actions, from bad words, and from bad thoughts. So it's not like you could just wake up tomorrow and just start doing habits of a CEO. Just like that lottery winner, you're going to go broke soon enough because you don't think like a CEO. You don't think strategically. You're stuck in the weeds. You're a doer and you're not a coach. You're too much into control and not enough into trust and having just faith in life and what it's going to really do for you. And you're not working on what's important. You're working on what's urgent. You're not deciphering what's important for this organization. You think everything is important. And so everybody in your organization thinks nothing's important because you think everything is important. And working on this takes a lot of work. Really does. You know, it took me years. I think right around like 2014, 2015, I just started realizing that I was the problem in my businesses, that it was me. And at that time, I only had one business. I take that back. I was the problem in my one business. But I was a dick, making people walk around on pins and needles, you know, people walking on eggshells because of me, worried if I was going to say that one thing to them, all of that stuff. And my ego liked it a little bit, not going to lie. My ego liked it, liked the control, liked the power. But it also was stifling everything that we were doing. And it wasn't letting people grow. It wasn't letting people feel great. And it was keeping everybody small. And most importantly, it was keeping me small. And so if you want to start working on this and really start looking at this and making adjustments in your business, it's not about your next marketing strategy, your next sales tactic, your great ad, or anything like that. It's you looking in the mirror and taking full responsibility for this and really owning it and feeling the feelings and the shame and all that shit that comes with taking responsibility. The shame and the guilt and like the sorries. Like it's almost like you're like if you're going to like AA and you got to go apologize to people, you got to 12-step your ass. I'm serious, because you have to let go of this identity, because if people keep seeing you like this, they're going to keep treating you like this, and then bam, you're going to go right back into being in this founder mode, and it's a trap. And especially for you guys that are, or gals that are like my age, I'm 41, I'm almost 42. You know, when I was 26, 27, founder mode was easy. Sleeping on my gym floor, all of that stuff, easy peasy. Working 14 hours a day, no one giving a shit if I worked on Sundays, all of that stuff. But my God, dude, I'm gonna be 42 in a few months. I got 2 kids, another one on the way. I can't do it like that anymore. I just can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the capacity to do it. I just can't play the game that way anymore. And so this is also about you learning how to play the game with people. I had this conversation the other day with a founder. I said, listen, let's say you have 100% capacity. You are the 100% in your organization. What if you slowed down for 3 or 6 months and really started bringing up 3 or 4 people around you? Let's say you brought up 4 people around you to 80% capacity of you, okay? There's 100% of you on one side. On the other side, there's 4 people at 80% capacity of you. That's 320%. That's more, that's gonna beat you. That's gonna beat you every day, over time. Maybe not in a moment, but 320% of knowledge, 100% of knowledge. That's what you wanna do in your organization. Not everyone's gonna be as good as you, but if you could get them 60, 70% to your decision making, to your knowledge, and you spread that across like a bunch of satellites, think about that, what that would be. They need to be to 60, 70% is good in that one discipline. They don't need to know everything, but if you get the sales guy to 80% of you, that's great. 80% of your skill level in sales, get them there, okay? The marketing, get them there. Operations, get them there. And start transferring knowledge and how they're thinking. But I'm gonna go back to what I originally said. If your identity is a founder, you're Michael Jordan instead of being Phil Jackson. So this isn't gonna work because you're gonna think it's a competition between you two. You're not gonna be patient enough to transfer knowledge. You're not gonna be in it, right? But if you could slow down and start going from a doer to a coach, like MJ to Phil Jackson, you could do this in your business. And you could change your life. You could change your employees' lives. You could build them up. You'll feel amazing. You'll have loyalty. You'll have smart people working for you because they know that you invest in them and invest in them getting better, and it's not all about you. So this is a little ruck diaries, I guess we could call this. I was out here this morning when it was stars out, and here we are in the morning. It's my favorite way to ruck, is watching the world wake up with us. Have a wonderful day if you're out there. Keep going. You're in this journey to grow as a person, not just grow as money and grow in business. It's a self-actualization all the way. Once you have enough money to survive, now it's time about developing yourself. You don't believe me? Go ask Maslow. He told us first, all right? Have a great day, everybody. Go get 'em.